The August sun is unforgiving in Lake Forest. It bakes down on the practice fields at Hallis Hall, where the sound of cleats against grass mixes with the sharp thwack of shoulder pads. Fans lean over railings, phones raised, searching for glimpses of the Bears' future. And there, in the middle of it all, a whistle pierces the morning air. The drill stops. Players shuffle back to their marks. Someone was half a step out of alignment, and Ben Johnson isn't letting it slide. The Bears' new head coach doesn't bark or wave his arms. He simply resets the drill, makes his point, and watches as his players line up again. It's not loud, but it's clear. Details matter. For a franchise that has made a living out of details gone wrong, botched play calls, missed assignments, quarterbacks staring down receivers, it's hard not to notice the change. Training camp in Chicago doesn't feel like the same old Bears. It feels like something sturdier is being built. Every Bears story these days starts with Caleb Williams, and rightfully so. He's the kid with the golden arm, the top pick from 2024, the quarterback Chicago has been chasing for, let's say forever. Last year he was a rookie swimming in deep water. There were flashes, dazzling scrambles, throws that made you gasp, but also the kind of rookie mistakes that piled up into losses. He looked like what he was, a 22-year-old trying to run before he'd fully learned how to walk in the NFL. This summer, though, something's different. Williams looks settled. Not perfect, nobody is in August, but steadier, more comfortable. In one 2-minute drill during camp, he marched the offense downfield with quick decisions, 3 sharp completions, and a touchdown strike that left fans buzzing. More importantly, he didn't look rattled, he looked in command. It's not just about highlight throws to Rome Odunze, though those are still there. It's the smaller stuff, sliding protections, adjusting routes, hitting his checkdowns instead of forcing deep shots. Those little details, the ones that used to slip by, are starting to stick. And here's a twist nobody expected. The Bears might actually have 2 quarterbacks they can trust. Tyson Bagent, the undrafted rookie from last year, has turned into something more than a camp arm. His preseason outing against Buffalo, 205 yards and a touchdown, wasn't just noise. He's steady, accurate, and unafraid. For a team that spent decades one injury away from disaster under center, that's no small luxury. So what's changed? A lot of it traces back to Johnson. When the Bears lured him from Detroit, the pitch was simple: bring creativity, bring structure, bring the kind of offensive mind that Chicago hasn't had in decades. What they got was more than a play designer. They got a coach who obsesses over detail and demands that players buy in. Watch practice and you'll see the fingerprints. There's motion before almost every snap. Routes designed to free up mismatches, tight ends disguised as blockers before slipping into open space. These aren't random plays drawn up in the dirt. They're pieces of a larger puzzle. Players talk about how it all fits together now. Instead of running routes in isolation, receivers understand how their patterns open space for teammates. Linemen know why their assignments matter. Running backs know when to cut backside because of how the defense has been shifted. One moment in camp captured it perfectly. Rookie wideout Luther Burden III, known for his speed and playmaking, threw himself into a downfield block that sprung a touchdown run. Teammates erupted. Burden didn't spike the ball or pose. He jogged back smiling because he knew he'd done his job. That's Johnson's culture. Do the small things. Do them right. And suddenly the big things like touchdowns start to follow. Training camp always has its surprises, and this year's Bears are no exception. A few names have jumped off the practice field. Colston Loveland, the rookie tight end, might be Chicago's best-kept secret. He's tall, fluid, and already proving to be a nightmare matchup for linebackers. Every red zone drill seems to end with Williams looking his way. Luther Burden III isn't just healthy again, he's explosive. His routes are sharp, his yards after catch are electric, and his willingness to block has made him a coach's favorite. Rome Odunze looks like the steady hand every young quarterback dreams of. He's not flashy in camp, just relentlessly reliable. When Williams needs a sure thing, Odunze is there. Theo Benedette, the undrafted offensive lineman, has turned heads by grabbing first-team reps at both tackle spots. The Bears line has been a sore spot for years. If Benedette sticks, it's a gift they weren't expecting. On defense, Nahshon Wright has quietly become one of the camp's best stories. With injuries creating opportunities, he stepped into a starting role opposite Jalen Johnson and looked the part. It's not just that these guys are flashing, it's that they're flashing in roles that matter. Tight end, receiver, tackle, corner. These are foundational spots, and for once, the Bears don't look thin. Let's talk about that 38-0 preseason win over Buffalo. On paper, it looks like a statement. In reality, it's August football against a team resting starters. Nobody's hanging banners over it. But here's the thing, the Bears used to lose games like that. They used to look sloppy in meaningless preseason matchups, the kind of outings where fans shrugged and said, "Well, it's only August." This time, they looked sharp. The offense moved with purpose. The defense swarmed. Special teams were crisp. Winning might not matter on the scoreboard in August, but playing well absolutely does. Still, not everything was rosy. Injuries hit the defensive side hard. Austin Booker, Terrell Smith, Dominique Robinson, promising young players all dinged up. Depth will be tested, and in the NFL, depth usually makes or breaks seasons. So no, the Bears aren't back because of one preseason blowout. But the way they handled themselves in that game? That's worth noting. Here's the part you can't ignore, the Chicago Bears are not just another team, they're the NFL's founding franchise, draped in history, haunted by it too. Since 1985, the year of Ditka and Peyton and the Shuffle, they've been chasing shadows. Lovie Smith's defense briefly rekindled the fire in 2006, but the offense sputtered in the Super Bowl. Jay Cutler teased hope. Mitchell Trubisky brought confusion. Justin Fields brought debate. Through it all, training camps became rituals of false dawns. Optimism was always there in July. By October, reality always came crashing down. That's why this camp feels different, not because anyone's predicting a Super Bowl, but because it doesn't feel like a sales pitch. It feels like work, habits, standards, the kind of foundation that has been missing for decades. Are the Bears suddenly NFC contenders? Probably not yet. They're young. They'll make mistakes. The offensive line still has questions. The defense, if the injuries pile up, could struggle. That's reality. But what matters is direction. For the first time in a long time, the Bears look like a program, not a patchwork. They're not just hoping their quarterback saves them, they're building something around him. And in a league where identity is everything, the Bears finally seem to have one. The truth about August football is this: it doesn't crown champions, it doesn't hand out playoff berths. But it does reveal who's serious and who's just running drills. This year, the Chicago Bears look serious. Ben Johnson is setting the tone. Caleb Williams is maturing into the quarterback Chicago has begged for. Young stars are emerging, depth is forming, and even in meaningless games, the Bears are playing with purpose. When fans walked out of Hallis Hall this summer, they weren't just leaving with autographs or t-shirts. They left with something rarer: belief. And for once, in Chicago, that belief doesn't feel naive, it feels earned.